தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய் நித்யானந்தனும் வந்து உதித்தான், வந்து உதித்தான். ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் செய்த தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய் நித்யானந்தனும் வந்து உதித்தான், வந்து உதித்தான். காக்கும் இறையே நட்பின் உருவாய் வந்த களிப்பால் கட்டு கடங்கா மகிழ்வு கொண்டே, மகிழ்வு கொண்டே. மலை போல் வரும் துயர் யாவையும் நொடிப்போதினில் பொடியாக்கிட புயலாய் வருவான், துணையென வருவான். ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் செய்த தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய் நித்யானந்தனும் வந்து உதித்தான், வந்து உதித்தான். கருவங்களை தடம் மாற்றிட வெடிப்பான், தலை தூக்கிடும் கருவங்களை தடம் மாற்றிட வெடிப்பான். பின் கருணை மழையாய் பொழிவான், தினம் கருணை மழையாய் பொழிவான். பின் கருணை மழையாய் பொழிவான், தினம் கருணை மழையாய் பொழிவான். ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் செய்த தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய் நித்யானந்தனும் வந்து உதித்தான், வந்து உதித்தான். எந்தன் மகிழ்வை தளர்த்திடச் செய்வான், நித்தின் மகிழ்வை தளர்த்திடச் செய்வான். எந்தன் மகிழ்வை தளர்த்திடச் செய்வான், நித்தின் மகிழ்வை தளர்த்திடச் செய்வான். ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் செய்த தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய் நித்யானந்தன் வந்து உதித்தான், வந்து உதித்தான். அவன் கருணை மழையில் நாமும் இரையாய் மாறக்கூடும். சரணம் அடைந்தால் அருள்வான், அவன் சரணம் அடைந்தால் அருள்வான். சரணம் அடைந்தால் அருள்வான், அவன் சரணம் அடைந்தால் அருள்வான். ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் செய்த தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய் நித்யானந்தனும் வந்து உதித்தான், வந்து உதித்தான். ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் செய்த தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய் நித்யானந்தனும் வந்து உதித்தான், வந்து உதித்தான். காக்கும் இறையே நட்பின் உருவாய் வந்த களிப்பால் கட்டு கடங்கா மகிழ்வு கொண்டேன், மகிழ்வு கொண்டேன். காக்கும் இறையே நட்பின் உருவாய் வந்த களிப்பால் கட்டு கடங்கா மகிழ்வு கொண்டேன், மகிழ்வு கொண்டேன். மலை போல் வரும் துயர் யாவையும் நொடிப்போதினில் பொடியாக்கிட புயலாய் வருவான், துணையென வருவான். ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் செய்த தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய் நித்யானந்தன் வந்து உதித்தான், வந்து உதித்தான். ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் நித்யானந்தா.
Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam, everyone. We welcome all of you to today's another exciting episode on Nithyananda TV. I am Srinitya Brahma Sukhananda Maharaj, and we have this Srinitya Rajananda Maharaj.
Nithyananda
Maharaj. So today, the topic is one of the most talked about topic for today. Is all over the social media. It is buzzing with this term, which is Sengol. Right, Maharaj?
Yes.
Sengol is the topic which we are going to talk about today. What is it? How is it significant to our whole journey, Kailasa's journey, Kailasa's revival, each and every aspect of it. But before that, let me touch upon how this even whole thing has come into so much of popularity suddenly. We've seen the inauguration of the parliament, the Indian parliament, and how the whole ceremony has taken place when the Indian Prime Minister has received the Sengol as a symbol of just rule, dharmic rule from the traditional ecosystem, the Hindu ecosystem, the adinams, the monasteries, the ancient the lineage of all the enlightened masters which they have kept alive and passed down this whole authority, Paramashiva's rule, and the kingdom as per the Paramashiva's ordainment, as per the Vedas and Agamas, and how Sengol is the symbol of that. And that's exactly what the whole ceremony has taken place when the Indian Prime Minister has been handed over the Sengol from the Adinams to be kept in the new parliament building, the Indian parliament building, and how this whole thing has really reaffirmed the alignment of the Bharat to Hinduism, to its Hindu roots. It's such beautiful ceremony to watch. And that's what the whole context today is. That's what has inspired us today to talk about this whole topic of Sengol, about the Hindu kingdom, the Hindu rule, dharmic rule, according to Paramashiva. So let's start with this whole discussion, Maharaj. What is Sengol?
Yes, Maharaj. So the Dharma Dandam, this is also a name that it is called in Sanskrit. The Sengol is actually having Nandi on it. Nandi is in Paramashiva. Paramashiva is very devotee, the first devotee who is absolutely stands for dharma, cosmic dharma, and always the symbol of Nandi, especially in the Shaivism. You will see when Paramashiva graces on Nandi Vahana during the Brahmotsavas, that is the day when he's establishing the cosmic dharma and literally establishing something called the Adhikara Mala, means the whole authority, the parliament, means the cosmic parliament, how it is. The Adhikara Mala is literally called the cosmic parliament. When he keeps Nandi as the head of it, and with him all the Ganas, Ganeshwaras, Mantreshwaras, Yantreshwaras, all these people create that, and that is the Adhikara Mala of Paramashiva, and that is headed by Adhikara Nandi. Nandi is the
chief executive officer.
He is the Adhikara, specifically meaning authority, administrative head of all of Kailasa. So when Paramashiva is doing the spiritual work and he also teaches, of course, the dharma to Nandi, and Nandi upholds the cosmic dharma, and that is why the symbol of Nandi is there on it. And it
so
is
interesting.
Yes. And also whenever anybody connects with any Shiva temple or anything, it is always with the worship first go to Nandi, whisper a prayer into his ear, and then they go into the temple and then they attend to Paramashiva. It is that whenever Nandi is, sometimes Paramashiva is not available for us, Nandi is the one who we can convey our prayers to, who's the one who can take care of it. So it's beautiful to see the Nandi Sengol being offered in the Indian Parliament.
Yes, exactly, and it marks a very historic moment when and reaffirming the truth that ultimate sovereignty lies with Paramashiva. He is the ultimate ruler, the ultimate authority in itself, and the symbol, the Sengol, the Dharma Dandam, as you said, Maharaj. It marks the handing over of the authority to the present ruler. It can even be the parliament or whatever it is, but that as acting as a regent or as a representative of Paramashiva to rule the kingdom according to his will, according to Paramashiva's will. And then Nandi, as you said, he is the authority who is executing Paramashiva's decisions and really administering the kingdom. So king taking that position similar to Nandi in the the plane of the planet Earth, the Bhuloka, and administering the kingdom as according to Vedas and Agamas, the scriptures of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. That is what the whole significance of Sengol is historically in all the Hindu kingdoms, especially the Chola kingdom, where this tradition was being followed to letter and spirit, and all the ancient kingdoms, right? From the documented history, Mahabharata, and even before that, this Dharma Dandam has been a mark of the Hindu authority and the Hindu rule, the Hindu kingdom, right? How the kingdom has to be according to Vedas and Agamas, how Paramashiva himself is the ultimate ruler, and he bestows his authority on the present king to administer on his behalf.
Yes.
Right? And execute all the orders according to the wish and the will of Paramashiva himself. And we have seen this from the ancient times, all this tradition of handing over the authority from the king to his successor to his successor. We have seen these, how the Hindu civilization, the Hindu kingdoms have been kept alive through this rich tradition of handing over the spiritual authority. It's not just material plane, the authority at a material plane. It has very important significance, right? It's not just a symbol or an artifact or something, it just symbolizes a king's rule, right? It's very important to see even today in the ceremony, we saw a homa happening,
yes,
puja happening, invoking the energy of Paramashiva into the Sengol, which means that it actually directly acts as the spiritual blessings, the authority and the power of Paramashiva himself, who is ruling the kingdom ultimately.
Yes.
And it is that which the king is holding in his hand and administering the whole kingdom.
Yes, Maharaj. Actually, many of the things that you see, even when you see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism having these various what they call artifacts, but these are actually the living things that hold energy.
Exactly.
We have mastered the science of metallurgy in Hinduism such that we can be able to ensure that a metal will be able to vibrate and radiate a particular positive energy, and specifically the energy to be able to rule justly, to be able to rule as per the dharma, as per the cosmic laws. That is there invoked inside a Dharma Dandam. When it is having that, the person who wields it, the person who holds it, it is literally, it's not a responsibility or only a responsibility. It is actually an empowerment.
Yes, it is a power.
It gives you the enhances your power. It is this. I would like to give the example. For example, Maharaj, you have an heirloom from your family. You have your grandmother's ring or your father's chain, or these kind of heirlooms are passed down from generation inside a family. When they are passed down, the whole energy of your whole life essence is energized inside that gold. It is kept alive inside the tradition. And whenever somebody wears it, they hear it like how they say it's the weight of the crown on my head. It is literally feeling the responsibility, but taking the empowerment of this, and it holds that because it itself is energized to hold such powers.
Yes.
Exactly. And that is the whole work of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Just to give the beautiful question many people have, why does the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism have so much gold, have so much jewelry, have so many of these things that he surrounds himself? You can just see how he is so beautifully, because it is not just that, he says very clearly, it is a responsibility. It is a responsibility because all of these things empower someone. So when they empower you to be able to radiate positive consciousness, radiate Paramashiva the most optimal way, then these artifacts are actually energized. So the same way the king would hold it, and he will do the conduct his court, and it will find the king may even sometimes find that it even bleeds. Like for example, even in the Rama's story. Rama's padukas themselves ruled the kingdom. So blessed things that are done through ritual and energized. All of these are there in the agamas, and it's beautiful to see that these are all cherished again.
Yes, it's so beautiful to see all these in this whole tradition being kept alive and revived, and that brings us back to the actual what many people may not know, that how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself received the traditional authority in the form of the Sengol from his predecessor in the Madurai Adinam, right? When he was made the current Guru Mahasannidhanam of Madurai Adinam on 27th April 2012, right? When his predecessor handed over, first he crowned him, and then he handed over the Sengol, the traditional Sengol, which marks the spiritual authority of the Shamalapita Sarvagnya Pita, right? The ancient spiritual kingdom, the most powerful, established by Devi Meenakshi and Sundareshwara Paramashiva themselves on planet Earth thousands and thousands of years ago when they started it, and it has been kept alive by so many great beings, incarnations like the Tirujnana Sambandar, Adi Shankaracharya, and now the same lineage has been passed down and inherited by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, who is the current spiritual head. This powerful ecosystem of Sonata Parampara, the Shyamalapita Sarvagyapitam, Madurai Adinam, and exactly same ceremony took place when the authority, the spiritual authority, was handed down from his predecessor, the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam, to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the current spiritual head with the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam, in the form of handing over the Sengol as the ruling authority just after the crowning ceremony. In fact, we will also be showing the viewer a small clip exactly when this ceremony took place. And this small clip will make the viewers understand. And it's such a beautiful thing to see that all these things the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is already doing, and it has already been a part of his whole journey of reviving Hinduism, of reviving Sanatana Hindu Dharma on planet Earth. Right, in the form of these handing all these traditional things, Sengol being one of them.
Yes, Maharaj.
Right?
And it is not just the inheriting of just the Sengol. The Sengol is the inheritance of the kingdom, of all of his assets, of all of the property, and including the very message and core of the whole spiritual ecosystem, the spiritual civilization that the Paramashiva created. And it is beautiful to see in the Sengol that is there in the Sengol that is there in the Madurai Meenakshi temple. It is actually passed between Paramashiva and Meenakshi during the year. So the ritual of Sengol and how to energize it and how to do the ritual is there very clearly inside the agamas, and who you should invoke. Inside Nandi should be invoked inside the Sengol. The mantras are there specifically. And Paramashiva says that the mantras are very important because any ritual, anything you do should be done with the Sanskrit mantra. And this is beautifully re-emphasizing the power of Sanskrit, the power of how much those mantras are actually going to do so much to energize a particular object and to make something sacred. So the whole process was done, the whole elaborated ceremony where Agni was invoked and in the Akalashas were there, and in all the traditional way that a ritual should be made, that should be done, the Sengol is supposed to be inaugurated and used.
Yes, exactly.
Handed over.
So many, I mean, we have seen this whole, when the revival of Kailasa is taking place, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving each and every ecosystem, the ancient ecosystems of Hinduism, which form the core of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, core of the Hindu civilization itself. How they have been kept alive is only because of these powerful ecosystems. And how these ecosystems have been kept alive is through the Hindu gurus, the Guru Mahasannidhanams, the whole Avichinna Guru Parampara, the traditional, the unbroken lineage of enlightened masters who have kept these ecosystems alive. And this is exactly how the power of these rituals, the power of the Dharma Dandam, for example, the Sengol, it's not just a token for the token's sake of some symbolic meaning. It has an actual power which keeps these ecosystems alive, as we already talked, which empowers the ruler, the spiritual head, or even the administrative head with the right authority, the right intelligence to govern and administer the kingdom. Yes. And so many of these things we have seen again and again when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been handed down these the tradition, the authority, the spiritual authority in all the different ecosystems, Madurai Adinam being one, the Shyamalapita Sarvagyapitam, Arunachala Sarvagyapitam being one, right? The Kashi Sarvagyapitam, the Mahanirvani Pitam, all these powerful ecosystems, he has been handed down the spiritual authority to govern and rule.
Yes, and I just wanted to mention that it is very beautiful to see that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, whenever he inherits one of these particular spiritual kingdoms, he is very, very takes every inheritance as such a valuable thing, because it's energized with such the sacrifice and tyaga of generations of people who upheld this the civilization. That is what those items have. They have that power, the power to be able to rule literally themselves. The Nandi on its own can run the whole do the Adhikar Mala of the whole cosmos. So they have the power to empower the world and really move things in the correct way according to dharma, so that things happen in a positive way, in a life positive way, for the best for all the people from all. It is
Yes.
not just that one particular religion or one particular part of the society experiences this. It is that all of the whole world will be benefited when something like this is sacredly kept, and kept in a position of respect, and kept in a position of worship, in fact.
Yes.
They're not just items that are just as a relic, Maharaj. These are items that are worshipable. Literally, the king literally does the puja, does the worship. And if you see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, every time he assumes whenever he begins with a puja, he begins with a prayer, and worships all of these sacred items, these sacred arts, and literally does puja to them. And in our puja, there's so much of ayudha puja, and so much of worship of these things, because on their own they do. And in fact, Karupaswami Kala Bhairava, he's himself invoked in a khadga, in a sword, and worshipped in that way. Gods themselves live in these kind of the sacred arts and sacred items. So they themselves rule and do the power themselves. And it's a beautiful way of this of this sacred science, this sacred arts. And whenever the Supreme Pontiff brings out to the world, he does so much to make sure that every single part of the tradition is cherished, mentioned, and revived. Whether it may be the Rudraksha mala you're wearing, or the Kandi mala that you're wearing, or the bhasma that you have, or the kumkum that you have, or the way your yogic experience is. Everything is so meticulously done by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and it is so beautiful to see the same thing happening, and to other people also deciding to cherish this same sentiments.
Yes, exactly. And so many, even in his discourses in satsang, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has spoken, even he has explained about Sengol and its spiritual meaning as well, right? Taking directly from the will of Paramashiva, and how when we manifest Paramashiva, right, it is basically it's literally like we holding the Sengol for our own in our own internal context as well, from our inner space as well, that when we manifest Paramashiva, it's only his will that manifests through us, and that acts as a Sengol, right, as a ruling authority.
When you know this is the truth, enter into that fire. When you know His will is your will, ferociously manifest it. The first step of manifesting is you will not use your will anymore to beat yourself. No self-sabotaging, no self-destruction, no powerlessness, no self-destruction. His will is my will means it's a Sengol, ruling staff He has given me. I have to manifest the powerfulness.
ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் செய்த தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய் நித்யானந்தனு வந்து உதித்தான் ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் செய்த தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய்.
Nithyanandam, welcome back. So after the exciting discussion on Sengol, the importance of Sengol, the Dharma Dandam, and how it represents the authority, the ruling authority of the kingdom of Paramashiva himself, on how he has ordained his rule to be, and how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving this entire tradition as the current spiritual head of numerous spiritual kingdoms and the enlightenment ecosystem of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, how he is reviving Hinduism by being the current successive head, the spiritual head of all these kingdoms, and carrying the authority to not only administer but revive all the greatest sciences that Sanatana Hindu Dharma has to offer. And today we are also celebrating the third day of the Nithyananda Purnima Brahmotsava. Right? Nithyananda Purnima is the celebration of the remembrance of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's first enlightenment experience in his own life, when he had it at the age of 12, when he had the complete 360-degree vision, the experience of Nirvikalpa Samadhi in his own life, a very powerful experience which we have discussed about, which we have talked about in the whole history of it. And today is the third day of the Brahmotsava. The 10th day will be the main event, the Nithyananda Purnima itself, and how we'll be celebrating it. The whole Kailasa will be celebrating that event. And in this Brahmotsava, which is 10 days long, today marks the third day, we are offering live, we are bringing to you live broadcast of the puja being offered to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and all the other temple deities, marking today's celebration of the third day of Nithyananda Purnima Brahmotsava. Yes, Maharaj, so you can lead to the whole celebration and how it is a spiritual treat for all the viewers.
Yes, today. And we just a festive celebrating
Yes.
people who continuously 365 days throughout the year have one celebration or the other going on.
Yes.
And we are celebrating this time Nithyananda Purnima, the celebration of the very enlightenment of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Yes.
And each of these, it's going to be a 10-day festival, and it is going to go on until the June 4th.
Yes.
And that is the main day, that is the full moon day, the full moon under which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had his enlightenment experience at the age of 12. And beautifully, the story is told. We invite everyone to be a part of these grand celebrations that you are seeing going on. And also would like to invite you all to the other festivities of the Tirunjana Sambandhar Guru Puja and also the Yoga Pattabhishekam. So much festivities, literally around the full moon that is going to come in a few days from now. So now we're going to have the very darshan of the deities in the Kailasa Nithyananda Pita Sarvagni Pita. There we have kept the special alankara as the one where the Anasuya party, who is the maternal grandmother of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, had beautiful darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism when she was seeing the Abhishekam of Subramanya Swami in the Subramanya temple. So at that moment, she saw Swami himself. Swamiji himself standing and also receiving the Abhishekam inside the Garbhamandir. So we're beautiful Leela of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is beautifully shown in the Alankara, the Leela Alankara. So we'll be witnessing that very Leela Alankaram now and offering our worship to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, our devotion. The deities are Archa Avataras. In these moments, when we connect with them, when they literally show their darshan to us, it is our opportunity from wherever we are, whoever we may be, from any part of the world, just have a simple prayer, a prayerful mode, to be in a space of deep receptivity and in a meditative space inside. So let us get ready now to have the very darshan of the deities of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Along with him, we are celebrating Mahaganapati and Sri Subramanya Swami. So we will now move to the Laku Puja.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Vandvatitam gagana sadrisham tasyaadilaksham ekam nityam vimalamachalam sarvadhi sakshibhutam bhavatitam trigunarahitam tatgurum tam namami. Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva samarambham Nithyanandeshwari Paramashiva Shakti Madhyamam Nithyananda Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Late Tripundri Nitila Kasturi Tilakaha Spuranmala Dhara Spurita Kadika Upina Vasanaha Tadaro Dushtaram Chirasi Panirajam Shashikalam Pradipas Sarvesham Arunagiri Yogi Vijayate. Atha Dupaha. Om Dhurasi Dhurvadhurvantam Dhurvatayosman Dhurvadidam Dhurvayam Vayam Dhurvamastam Devanamasi Sasnidamam Bapridamam Jishtadamam Manidamam Bahudamam Hritamasi Havirdanam Dimasvamahva Mitrasya Chakshusha Prekshe Mabhirma Samvikta Matpahigum Shishum. Shri Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Bhagavate Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Namaha Shri Ananda Gramade Namaha Shri Subramanya Swamine Namaha Dhupam Agrapayami. Atha Deepaha. Om Buddhi Swajata Vedo Bhagnim Nirjammama Vasugushyamakyama Vahajivanam Jadisho Disha Manohikam Sirjata Vedo Gamaswam Purusham Jagade Avibrajagna Agahi Shriyama Paripataya. Shri Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Bhagavate Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Namaha Deepam Sandarshayami. Naivedyam. Om Madhuvatarata Yate Madhuksharanti Sindavaha Bhadbhi Irna Santoshasihi Madhurakkamutosasi Madhumatparthivam Rajaha Madhudvyorastuna Pita Madhumano Vanaspatir Madhuvagum Astu Suryaha Madhvirjabo Bhavantunaha Madhu Madhu Madhu. श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। श्री आनंद सुब्रह्मण्य स्वामिने नमः। अमृतं नमः नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि। श्री आनंद महागणपतिये नमः। नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि। नैवेद्यानन्तरम् आचमनीयं समर्पयामि। नीराजनम् हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंस प्रचोदयात्। ॐ हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंस प्रचोदयात्। ॐ हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंस प्रचोदयात्। श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। श्री आनंद गणपतिये नमः। श्री सुब्रह्मण्य स्वामिने नमः। कर्पूर नीराजनं संदर्शयामि। सोनाद्रीशावताराय ज्योतिस्तंभस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलास प्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। तत्त्वज्ञानप्रदाताय नित्यानन्देश्वर रूपिणे श्रीकैलास प्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। मूलप्रकृतिरूपाय परमशिवशक्तिस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलास प्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। त्रिशूलहस्ताय कालकालस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। आदिपूज्याय देवाय सकृत्पूर्णत्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। सर्वाभयविनाशकाय शत्रुसंहाररूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। सार्वभौमैकपत्याय राजराजार्चिताय श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। लोकपट्टाभिषिक्ताय राजसन्न्यासधारिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। मङ्गलं कल्पवृक्षाय मङ्गलं ज्ञानदायिने परमशिवाय श्रीनित्यानन्देश्वराय मङ्गलम्। मङ्गलं श्रीविद्याम्बाये मङ्गलं कामदायिन्ये सर्वमङ्गलदात्री नित्यानन्देश्वर्ये मङ्गलम्। मङ्गलं गुरुदेवाय मोक्षमूलाय मङ्गलं परमावताराय नित्यानन्दाय गुरवे मङ्गलम्। शृणोऽहं धन्य मम प्राणमहेश्वर गङ्गाधर नामेति स्तोत्रस्थानं ददाम्यहम्। हरि ओं तत्सत्। सर्वं भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव पादुकार्पणमस्तु। ओम नित्यानंदम्।
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda
Adi Kailasa Nithyananda Sarvagyapeetham. We actually have another beautiful treat for our viewers today. We have a very special occasion of the culmination of the Agni Nakshatram Shita Kumbha, which is a very special ritual. Maybe you can talk about it a little for those who may not know, and what is the significance. And we are bringing to you another live broadcast today of puja and even Abhishekam, right? Being offered to Paramashiva himself from Kailasa directly, and whole the entire the ambience and the spiritual vibrations, everything beautifully giving this opportunity to all the viewers to connect with Paramashiva today in this powerful energy during that ritual, which is going to be broadcast live just in a few minutes. And just to before leading to that ritual of Abhishekam on the occasion of the culmination of the Shita Kumbha, you can explain, Maharaj, you can explain in detail what this whole ritual is, really what it does signify, and what is this whole occasion really about.
Yes. So it is happened 28 days ago. Agni Nakshatram began. So Agni Nakshatra is the Kritika Nakshatra that has a spirit when it comes in this part of the year, especially during the time of the peak heat of summer, when the sun is so close to the earth and giving so much of heat. So it is in this time that they traditionally, the temples of Paramashiva, they energize a particular Dharapatra, or a Shita Kumbha, that is a cooling pot that continuously drips water onto the top of the Paramashiva Linga. And this does tremendous amounts of different, makes a big difference in the ecological system around. Literally, the climate will change. Literally, clouds will come from nowhere. And this has been an experience in all of Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Devalayas for many, many years, since the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has installed in Paramashiva himself inside the main temples, Shivalingas. In them, Paramashiva is really there. And it really proves that, and even I've seen some of the researches have done by the universities in Delhi, that they would do the Dharapatram test and see that exactly after keeping Dharapatrams, the temperature of the locality will immediately reduce. Wow. That is the effect. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism tells that when, for example, in Adi Kailasa, the Paramashiva there, Nithyanandeshwara, Swayambhu Nithyanandeshwara, has a breathing space of literally 25 kilometers. So you would imagine that if his breathing space itself is that much, the deity is such a pinnacle of existence itself. It is a concentrated source of the existential energy or cosmic energy. It is not, it is the energy of everything around it. So as soon as any cooling happens to it during the Agni Nakshatram time, it immediately does and blesses us to cool down. And literally, even not just that, all of the experiences that we go through, the little bit of agitations or little bit of discomforts that we go through, especially maybe that will cause some diseases or some kind of problems. It is said inside the Shita Kumbha Vidhi, so much is told about the Shita Kumbha Puja, but what are the benefits of the Shita Kumbha Puja, and what are all the things that happen inside the country when the Shita Kumbha Puja is done in the country. So all of those we're going to be exploring also now. But let us also have the darshan of the Nithyanandeshwara here in Pashchima Kailas, in Arunachala, Kailasa, the Pashchima Arunachala, and that is Los Angeles, the Los Angeles temple that the Supreme Pontiff has installed beautifully, a beautiful temple, powerful deities, and Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva there in the form of the Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Linga is a very powerful deity, and I could say that personally I've seen when we have kept the Shita Kumbha, immediately that you would see there is literally an exhaust vent right above him and inside the temple. And as soon as we put the Dharapatra and kept a few years ago, we kept the Dharapatra and came and stood in front of him to have his darshan. Immediately, cold air was felt on all of our heads. Wow. Immediately, it's like as soon as you cooled him down, we felt him immediately cool out the whole temperature. He cools all of it down. That way, he's such a part of our lives. And in this way, we celebrate the Shita Kumbha Puja in Shita Kumbha Puja and keeping the Dharapatra. And finally, today is the final day where Mahabhishekam will be offered to him, giving our gratitude to Paramashiva for protecting us and protecting all of our environment during this last 28 days of Agni Nakshatra.
Lead into the event.
Yes, we are going to get ready to see the Kailasa in Los Angeles and show them, have darshan of Nithyananda Paramashiva. Today there was a ritual done where 108 kalashas of water were kept. 108. Yes, 108 kalashas of water were energized with the presence of Paramashiva. So we believe that inside these sacred elements, Paramashiva can be invoked, cosmic energy can be invoked, and we worship to them. And similar to how we saw the rituals happen in the Indian Parliament this morning, how the Homa was done and the water was purified. In the same way, for the Shita Puja that is today, it's a very auspicious day on this 28th day of Agni Nakshatra. The puja was done in the Paramashiva Devalaya in Kailasa, Los Angeles, and they did 108 kalashas. In each of them, invoked one of the names of Paramashiva and invoked the energy of Paramashiva. Directly, those kalashas will be taken and offered in a processional yatra, taken in a grand way and offered onto the Paramashiva Linga. This is all just a celebration. It is all just our love to Paramashiva. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says that always to Paramashiva offer the essence of your life. The best of the best things in your life are offered to the deities, are offered to Paramashiva. That's why everybody has a regular practice of going to the temple and doing abhishekam to the Paramashiva Linga. And if anybody is interested in contributing and wanting to be a part of this great revival of all of these beautiful, beautiful festivals to really help in the dharmic way, keep the whole ecology, keep the whole environment and everything pure, cool, and continuously rejuvenating the whole cosmos as Paramashiva stands for. These rituals really do the work of Paramashiva. I think the temples themselves do the work of doing the whole shrishti, creation, sustenance, and maintenance of the whole ecology of even the fruit of the plants and all the animals and everything are just worshipping Paramashiva when they know that he's there continuously providing. He will accept our worship today, and it is just a beautiful chance, a beautiful time for us to offer to him our deep gratitude for being there in our lives, for giving us continuously and showering us as he's always been showering us with countless blessings of auspiciousness. It is a time, so a few devotees have gathered in Kailasa, Los Angeles, and are offering to him today the Abhisheka Seva, along with 108 kalashas energized in the Agni. So what Agni Homa was done, and when the Agni is done, the Agni's energy is merged ritualistically into the kalashas, and from the kalashas, the water pots, and the water is taken and offered onto the earth metal. So it is a beautiful way of literally the creation. We believe in the Shastras that it happened from sound, from Pranava came ether, from ether came air came fire, fire came water, came earth. So this is the process of creation itself, and in the same process, rituals are literally a mirror of this same recreation, where the mantras are there to energize the air, the very space and the powerfulness of those doing the rituals when they are remaining in the state of Paramashivatma, initiated by the Guru, initiated by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, those who follow the Shiva Diksha. Those are all the initiated disciples who do these rituals. That space powerfully held by them, initiated by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, holds and energizes the space. And then the water element is worshipped through the pot. The fire element, of course, is worshipped through the Agni. And finally, the deity. This is a manifestation of the earth element that is made out of the precious metals and the precious stones. The deity is finally worshipped. So in this process, rituals happen in our temples, all of the Kailasa temples. Today, we'll be watching and witnessing the Abhishekam happening in Kailasa, Los Angeles, and seeing all the devotions of all the devotees gathered there and how they are celebrating Nithyananda Paramashiva in their temple.
In fact, it's a beautiful opportunity for all the viewers to directly be blessed in the presence and while witnessing the ritual itself, get blessed by Paramashiva, by Paramashiva Shakti and their incarnation, present living manifestation, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashiva, all their blessings literally being showered on all the devotees, all the disciples, and everyone, each and every being who witnesses these rituals. It's a beautiful opportunity for all of us to connect with Paramashiva and beautiful devotional space, carrying that space of gratitude within us and witnessing these rituals and how these rituals have really kept the whole ecosystem alive just by this tradition of rituals and festivities and celebrations. Literally, they are the symbol, they are the hallmark, so to speak, of Hinduism, of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Right? Hindu lifestyle is festive lifestyle in itself, and so and a very powerful lifestyle also. And the power comes from these rituals, from the Kriya Pada of Agama, which literally where Paramashiva has in detail explained how to connect with the of with gods and goddesses with their through these rituals, through all the kriyas, through the temples, and how this whole temple science is being now revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. That's why he gives details to each and every ritual, reviving each and every tradition, even this Shita Kumbha. This whole tradition, we've never seen so much of importance and so much of significance being given in the modern day. But fortunately, the modern day youth, the Hindu youth, is open-minded and really receptive and eager to learn all these rituals and what is the significance behind them, what is the science behind them. That's why we are inviting more and more viewers to be active participants in these shows that we are bringing, and so that we can discuss, so then we can reconnect to our roots, like we are realigned to our roots and really understand and be blessed by these the great science of Hinduism given in the Vedas and Agamas by Paramashiva himself. And this today's ritual of Shita Kumbha, the whole Abhishekam that is going to be offered, the puja that is going to be offered, is one of the ways of how powerful ways how we connect with Paramashiva and how we can bless ourselves and enrich others also to become a part of these celebrations of directly connecting with our source, the supreme consciousness itself. And these can be such powerful and beautiful tools for us to really manifest and give a breakthrough to us, super conscious breakthrough to us in our own life itself.
Yes, and especially if we're in a very receptive mood right now, we are in a way, because whenever these rituals happen, it is a time when the cosmos itself is aligning to bless us for whatever it is that we want. Right now, it is the time when it is summer in many places around the world, and when the sun is in its particular position, the Kritika Nakshatra is in a particular position, when these are all there, these events are literal recreations of the cosmic happening. And today we get to see a beautiful ritual of Abhishekam, which is like a rejuvenation in itself. Ganga and water is always used as a continuous item that is used to continuously refresh yourself, continuously rejuvenate yourself, cleaning you continuously. And the Abhishekam is offered when we witness it. We witness literally Paramashiva there. That who is there is he's an embodiment of our very own bodies actually, and he's means that he is the manifestation of our higher self. We have inside the deities are literally the possibilities of ourselves. When we worship them, we connect to them as the higher part of us, truth of us, as Paramashiva himself. And when we offer the puja, touch them and clean them and maintain them, we find that our own strength in our own Paramashiva and our own understanding that we are Paramashiva, that is again built in. And this is why the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism always recommends that everybody who has, as long as we have a body, we must always worship deities. We must be always continuously worshiping, because they are the energized bodies. They are the ones who they are literally archavataras, embodied manifestations, incarnations themselves of divine cosmic energies, and who have come down specifically to accept our worship, to accept our devotion. Literally, the compassion of seen here when he creates in the agamas all these instructions to create temples where this whole science can be celebrated and maintained and revived.
Exactly. So many of beautiful dimensions, various dimensions we can talk about when it comes to rituals temple rituals, and each and every festival, each and every occasion, connecting in a different, unique way to the unique deity of that ritual, of that festival. This whole rich science of Hinduism, how like it's literally a treasure which we are sitting on. Unfortunately, the current Hindu youth is not really aware and educated about all this whole science, which is literally kept, it's at their fingertips. Can just manifest, use it and manifest whatever they want in their lives. So powerful, right? Freely available by cosmos. Paramashiva has given it science to all of us to practice, to benefit from, to enrich ourselves, enrich the whole world. And that is the true purpose of our life, of our existence itself. That's why we have even taken birth in the human form to experience enlightenment, to experience the oneness experience, the oneness, the Paramadvaita with Paramashiva, Paramashivoham. That is the whole ultimate goal of the human existence. And all these things, all these rituals, all the entire, whatever the gifts of Singhoism, the supreme point of Hinduism, is now reviving and educating the entire world about their existence, is nothing but the tools and techniques for us to achieve that goal in life, the true purpose of our life. And one of these tools, very powerful tools, is temple rituals, the temple science, which, and temples literally form the core of the whole Hindu ecosystem. Everything that temples are everything that is happening in that ecosystem, temples are the core of it, and rituals are the most powerful tools for us to connect with the higher beings, the higher super consciousness, the ultimate manifestations of Paramashiva in the form of gods and goddesses in their own unique ways, beautiful ways, rich ways. And each and every aspect of these rituals in the temples are literally celebrating the glory and the grandeur of Hinduism. And one of those rituals which we are now going to witness live from Kailasa in Los Angeles is today's whatever we have been talking about. Yes, Maharaj, you can lead on to
Yes,
the
it's
ritual.
the of the final ritual of the Agni Nakshatram time that has happened. And after the Shila Kumbha has been placed, the Shila Kumbha has been removed, and Nithyananda Paramashiva is ready for Abhishekam. The Abhishekam is going to commence now. Amidst the chanting of Veda mantras of Rudram, we are now going to get ready to have the darshan of Nithyananda Paramashiva here in Kailasa, Los Angeles.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
ॐ नमो भगवते रुद्राय। ॐ नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यव उतोत इषवे नमः। नमस्ते अस्तु धन्वने बाहुभ्यामुत ते नमः। यात इष शिवतमा शिवं बभूव ते धनुः। शिवाशरव्या जातवत जानो रुद्रमृडजा। याते रुद्र शिवा तनूरघोरा पापकाशिनी। तजानस्तनुवाशन्तमजा गिरिशन्ताभिचाकशीः। नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिव समारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरि परमशिवशक्तिमध्यमाम् नित्यानंद पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। ललाटे त्रिपुण्ड्री तिलकः पुरन्मालाधारस्फुरितकटिकौ वीनवसनः। दधानोदु आक्तेनानेन सकलो विज्ञेयो निष्कलः शिवः क्षित्यादिकुटिलाप्रान्तमन्त्रसिंहासनस्थितम्। ॐ नमो भगवते रुद्राय। ॐ नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यव उतोत इषवे नमः। नमस्ते अस्तु धन्वने बाहुभ्यामुत ते नमः। यात इषु शिवतमा शिवं बभूव ते धनुः। शिवाशरव्या जातवत जानो रुद्रमृडजा। याते रुद्र शिवा तनूरघोरा पापकाशिनी। तजानस्तनुवाशन्तमजा गिरिशन्ताभिचाकशीः। यामिषुं गिरिशन्तहस्ते बिभर्षस्तवे। शिवां गिरित्रतां कुरु माहि गुंसीः पुरुषं जगत्। शिवेन वचसा त्वा गिरिशाच्छा वदामसि। यथा नः सर्वमिज्जगदयक्ष्मगुं सुबना असत्। अध्यवोचदधिवक्ताः प्रथमो दैव्योऽभिषक्। अहीगश्च सर्वाञ्जं भजन् सर्वाश्च यातु धान्यः। असौ यस्ताम्रो अरुण उत बभ्रुः मङ्गलः। ये चेमागुं रुद्रा अभितो दिक्षु श्रिताः सहस्रशो वैशागुं हेड ईमहे। असौव्योपसर्पति नीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उतैनं गोपा अदृशन्नदृशन्नुतहार्यः उतैनं विश्वा भूतानि सदृष्टो मृडजातिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीढुषे अथो ये अस्य सत्त्वानोऽहं तेभ्यो करन्नमः प्रमुञ्च धन्वनस्त्वमुभयोरार्निजोर्ज्यां याश्च ते हस्त इषवः पराता भगवो बप अवतत्य धनुस्त्वगुं सहस्राक्षशते शुधे निशीर्य शल्याणामुखा शिवो नः सुमना भव विद्यं धनुः कपर्दिनो विशल्यो बाणवागुम् उत अनेशन्नस्येषव आभुरस्य निषङ्गतिः या ते हेतिर्मीडुष्टमहस्ते बभूव ते धनुः तजास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मजा परिभुजा नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधाय नातताय धृष्णवे उभाभ्यामुत ते नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् वृणक्तु विश्वतः अथो य इषुधिस्तवारे अस्मन्निधेहितं सम्भवे नमः नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय नित्यानन्दाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः ॐ नमो हिरण्यबाहवे सेनान्ये दिशां च पतये नमो नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यः पशूनां पतये नमो नमः सस्पिञ्जराय द्विषीमते पथीनां पतये नमो नमो बभ्रुषाय विव्याधिने नानां पतये नमो नमो हरिकेशायोपवीतिने पुष्टानां पतये नमो नमो भवस्य हेत्यै जगतां पतये नमो नमो रुद्राय तथा विने क्षेत्राणां पतये नमो नमः सूताय हन्त्याय वनानां पतये नमो नमो रोहिताय स्थपतये वृक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो मन्त्रिणे वाणिजाय कक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो भुवन्तये वारिवस्कृता यौषधीनां पतये नमो नम उच्चैर्घोषाय क्रन्दयते वत्तीनां पतये नमो नमः कृष्णभीताय धावते सत्त्वनां पतये नमः नमः सहमानाय निव्याधिन आव्याधिनीनां पतये नमो नमः ककुभाय निषङ्गिणे सेनानां पतये नमो नमो निषङ्गिण इषुधिमते तस्कराणां पतये नमो नमो वञ्चते परिवञ्चते स्तायूनां पतये नमो निचेरवे परिचरायारण्याणां पतये नमो नमः सृकाविभ्यो जिघागुंसद्भ्यो मुष्णतां पतये नमो नमो शिवद्भ्यो नक्तं चरद्भ्यः प्रकृन्तानां पतये नमो नमः उष्णीषिणे गिरिचराय कुलुञ्चानां पतये नमो नम इषुमद्भ्यो धन्वाविभ्यश्च वो नमो नम आतन्वानेभ्यः प्रतिदधानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नम आयच्छद्भ्यो विसृजद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमोऽस्यद्भ्यो विद्यद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नम आसीनेभ्यश्च जानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः स्वपद्भ्यो जाग्रद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तिष्ठद्भ्यो धावद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमः सभाभ्यः सभापतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो अश्वेभ्योऽश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः नम आव्याधिनीभ्यो विविध्यन्तेभ्यश्च वो नमो नम उगणाभ्यस्त्रिगुंहतेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गृत्सेभ्यो गृत्सपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो व्रातेभ्यो व्रातपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गणेभ्यो गणपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो विरूपेभ्यो विश्वरूपेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो महद्भ्यः क्षुल्लकेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रथिभ्यो रथेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रथेभ्यो रथपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः सेनाभ्यः सेनानिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः शत्रुभ्यः सङ्ग्रहीतृभ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तक्षद्भ्यो रथकारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः कुलालेभ्यः कर्मारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः पुञ्जिष्टेभ्यो निषादेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः इषुकृद्भ्यो धन्वकृद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमो मृगजुभ्यश्वनिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः श्वभ्यश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः नमो भवाय च रुद्राय च नमः शर्वाय च पशुपतये च नमो नीलग्रीवाय च शितिकण्ठाय च नमः कपर्दिने च व्युक्तकेशाय च नमः सहस्राक्षाय च शतधन्वने च नमो गिरिशाय च क्षिपिविष्टाय च नमो मीढुष्टवाय तेषुमते च नमो ह्रस्वाय च वामनाय च नमो बृहते च वर्षीयसे च नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च नमो अग्रिजाय च प्रथमाय च नम आशवे चाधिराय च नम शीघ्रिजाय च शीभ्याय च नम ऊर्ण्याय चावस्वन्याय च नम स्रोतस्याय च द्वीप्याय च नमो ज्येष्ठाय च कनिष्ठाय च नमः पूर्वजाय चापरजाय च नमो मध्यमाय चापगल्भाय च नमो जघन्याय च बुद्धिजाय च नमः सोऽभ्याय च प्रतिसर्याय च नमो जाम्याय च क्षेम्याय च नम उर्वर्याय च खल्याय च नम श्लोक्याय चावसान्याय च नमो वन्याय च कक्ष्याय च नम श्रवाय च प्रतिश्रवाय च नम आशुषेणाय चाशुरथाय च नम शूराय चावभिन्दते च नमो वर्मिणे च वरूथिने च नमो बिल्मिने च कवचिने च नम श्रुताय च श्रुतसेनाय च नमो दुन्दुभ्याय चाहनन्याय च नमो धृष्णवे च प्रप्रशाय च नमो दूताय च प्रहिताय च नमो निषङ्गिणे चेषु धिमते च नमः तीक्ष्णे शवे चायुधिने च नमः स्वायुधाय च सुधन्वने च नमः श्रुत्याय च वध्याय च नमः काट्याय च नीप्याय च नमः सूर्याय च सरस्याय च नमो नाट्याय च वैशन्ताय च नमः कोप्याय च वट्याय च नमो वर्ष्याय च वर्ष्याय च नमो मेघ्याय च विद्युत्याय च नम ईध्रियाय च तप्याय च नमो वात्याय च रेश्मिजाय च नमो वास्तव्याय च वास्तुपाय च ॐ नमः सोमाय च रुद्राय च नमस्ताम्राय च अरुणाय च नमः शङ्गाय च पशुपतये च नम उग्राय च भीमाय च नमो अग्रे वधाय च दूरे वधाय च नमो हन्ते च हनीयसे च नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यो नमस्काराय नमः शम्भवे च मजोभवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च नमस्तीर्थ्याय च कुल्याय च नमः वार्याय च वार्याय च नमः प्रतरणाय चोत्तरणाय च नमः आतार्याय च लाद्याय च नमः षष्ट्याय च फेन्याय च नमः मस्तिकत्याय च प्रवाह्याय च नम इरण्याय च प्रपथ्याय च नमः किकुंशिलाय च क्षयनाय च नमः कपर्दिने च पुलस्तये च नमो गोष्ट्याय च गृह्याय च नमः स्तल्प्याय च गेह्याय च नमः काट्याय च गह्वरेष्ठाय च नमो हृदयाय च निवेश्याय च नमः पागुंसव्याय च रजस्याय च नमः शुष्काय च हरित्याय च नमो लोप्याय चोलप्याय च नमः ऊर्म्याय च सूर्म्याय च नमः पर्ण्याय च पर्णशद्याय च नमोपगुरमाणाय चाभिक्तते च नमः आक्षिदते च प्रक्षिदते च नमो वक्किरिगेभ्यो देवानागुंहृदयेभ्यो नमो विक्षीणकेभ्यो नमो विचिन्वत्केभ्यो नम आनिर्हतेभ्यो नम आमीवत्केभ्यः द्रापे अन्धसस्पते दरिद्रन्नीललोहिता येषां पुरुषाणामेषां पशूनां माभेर्मा रोमो येषां किञ्चनाममत् या ते रुद्रशिवा तनो शिवा विश्वाह भेषजी शिवा रुद्रस्य भेषजीतया नो मृडजीवसे इमागुं रुद्राय तवसे कपर्दिने क्षयद्वीराय प्रभरामहे मतिं यथा नः शमसद्विपदे चतुष्पदे विश्वं पुष्टं ग्रामे अस्मिन्ननातुरम् मृडानो रुद्रो तनो मयस्कृधि क्षयद्वीराय नमसा विधेमते यच्छं च जोश्च मनुराजजे पिता तदस्याम तव रुद्रप्रणीतौ मानो महान्तमुतमानो अर्भकं मान उक्षन्तमुतमान उक्षितं मानो वधीः पितरं वोत मातरं प्रियामानस्तनुवो रुद्ररीरिषः मानस्तोके तनये मान आयुषि मानो गोषु मानो अश्वेषु रीरिषः वीरान्मानो रुद्रभामितो वधीर्हविष्मन्तो नमसा विधेमते आरात्ते गोघ्न उत पूरुषघ्ने क्षयद्वीराय नमस्मेते अस्तु रक्षा च नो अधि च देव ब्रूह्यधा च न शर्म यच्छद्विबर्हाः तुहि श्रुतं गर्तसदञ्जुवानं मृगन्न भीममुपहत्नुमुग्रं मृडाचरित्रे रुद्रस्तवानो अन्यन्ते अस्मन्निवपन्तु सेनाः परिणो रुद्रस्य हेतिर्वृणक्तु परिद्वेषस्य दुर्मतिरघायोः अवस्थिरा मघवध्यस्तनुष्वमेध्वस्तोकायतनजाय मृडजा मीढुष्टमशिवतमशिवो नः सुमना भव परमे वृक्ष आयुधन्निधाय कृत्तिं वसान आचरपिनाकं बिभ्रदागही विगिरितविलोहितनमस्ते अस्तु भगवः यास्ते सहस्रगुं हेतयोऽन्यमस्पन्निबपन्तु ताः सहस्राणि सहस्रदा बाहुवोस्तव हेतजः तासामीशानो भगवः पराचीनामुखाकृधी सहस्राणि सहस्रशो ये रुद्राधिभूम्याम् एषा गुं सहस्रजो जने वधन्वानि दन्मसि अस्मिन् महत्यर्णवेऽन्तरिक्षे भवाधि नीलग्रीवाशितिकण्ठा शर्वा अधः क्षमाचराः नीलग्रीवाशितिकण्ठादिवगुं रुद्रा उपश्रिताः ये वृक्षेषु सस्पिञ्जरा नीलग्रीवा विलोहिताः ये भूतानामधिपतयो विशिखासक्कपर्दिनः ये अन्येषु विविध्यन्ति पात्रेषु पिबतो जनान् ॐ गन्धद्वारां दुराधर्षां नित्यपुष्टाङ्करीषिणीम् ईश्वरीगुं सर्वभूतानां तामिहोपह्वये श्रियं गन्धान् धारयामि गन्धस्योपरि हरिद्रा कुङ्कुमं समर्पयामि पुष्पाणि पूजयामि धूरसि धूर्वधूर्वन्तं धूर्वतन्योऽस्मान् धूर्वतितं धूर्वयं वयं धूर्वस्त्वं देवाप्रितमं दुष्टतमं वह्नितमं देवहूतममृतमसि हविर्धानं दृगुंहस्वमाह्वा मित्रस्य त्वा चक्षुषा प्रेक्षेमाभिर्मा संविक्था मा त्वा हि गुंसिषुम्। श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। धूपमाघ्रापयामि। ॐ उद्दीप्य स्वजातवेदोपघ्निर्निररितिं मम अशोकश्च मह्यमावह जीवनं च दिशो दिशा मानो हि पुंसेज्जातवेदो गामश्वं पुरुषं जगत् अबिभ्रदग्न आगहे श्रियामा परिपातया। नित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति समेत नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। दर्शयामि। वेद्यम् ॐ मधुपातार्तायते मधुक्षरन्ति सिन्धवः माध्वीर्नः सन्तोषधीः मधुनक्तमुतोषधि मधुमत्पार्थिवगुं व्रजः मधुद्यौरस्तु नः पिता मधुमान्नो वनस्पतिर्मधुमागुम् अस्तु सूर्यः माध्वीर्गावो भवन्तु नः मधु मधु मधु। नित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। अमृतं महानैवेद्यं निवेदयामि। नैवेद्यानन्तरमाचमनं समर्पयामि। महेशाय विद्महे वाग्विदाय धीमहि तन्नः शिवः प्रचोदयात् व्योमव्योमाय विद्महे सूक्ष्मसूक्ष्माय धीमहि तन्नः सूक्ष्मः प्रचोदयात् तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्रः प्रचोदयात्। नित्यानंदे श्री परमशिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। कर्पूर नीराजनं संदर्शयामि रक्षान् धारयामि। ओम यत्किंचित् कर्म देवेश सदा तदुष्कृतम् अन्मे शिवपदस्तस्य भुङ्क्तः शुभयशङ्कर शिवो दाता शिवो भोक्ता शिवः सर्वमिदं जगते शिवो यजति सर्वत्र यः शिवः सोऽहमेव तु।
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyanandam, we welcome you all back. Today's show, after this grand celebration that we witnessed, the Maha Abhishekam happening to Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva, the Linga, the Shiva Linga, which is literally the embodiment of Paramashiva himself. We offered in a grand way, the Maha Abhishekam with all the kalashas from the Homa itself, the 108 kalashas, all the energized water from the Homa was used to offer it to Paramashiva in the form of this Abhishekam. And such a wonderful blessing for all of us to witness this event, this celebration, this ritual. And we will be, in a few minutes, be joined again by Kailasa in Los Angeles for the Deeparadhana. Right now, the Alankara Seva will be offered to Paramashiva, the Shivalinga, for which the Abhishekam was offered. Immediately after the Alankara Seva, we will be witnessing again the grand offering puja in the form of Deeparadhana being offered to Paramashiva, Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva. So till then, it will be broadcast that ritual live to you again. We will go back to today's topic on Sengol and how the concept of the Hindu rule, the dharmic rule, which has been a very core element in the survival and the thriving itself of the Hindu civilization, the Hindu kingdoms from time immemorial, in fact, right? Till now, Hindu civilization survives only because of the positive qualities, the aspects of how the Hindu kingdoms are run, the whole cognition of how the ruler has to govern the kingdom, and what are the traditions which mark and which mark as the remembrance and reinforcing these values, these cognitions, these powers into the current rulers of whatever time they may be, to make sure that the Hindu ecosystem, the Hindu kingdoms are running according to the ordainment of Paramashiva himself, exactly as he has described in Vedas and Agamas, not based on our own fancy or opinions of any leader. No, exactly as given in the scriptures, exactly ordained by Paramashiva himself, how he wants the kingdoms to run for the enlightenment of the whole humanity, because that is the purpose of human life. That is the whole point of being on planet Earth itself, and that's what the Hindu civilization is. It really mastered. It has science of aligning people to that goal and making them manifest that goal of enlightenment. So each and every aspect of Hindu lifestyle, be culture, be it kingdoms itself, the ruling, administration, each and every aspect of Hindu life, Hindu lifestyle, Hindu ecosystem, everything is aligned towards that goal. It's so beautiful to see. And when it comes to the authority, the ruling authority, the rituals and the traditions which mark the whole value and the whole significance and the right cognitions of how the Hindu authority, the rulership has to be practiced in the Hindu kingdoms. Sengol is a very alive and vibrant example of that we've also seen today in the inauguration of the new parliament in India. How a beautiful ceremony was held when the Sengol marking the just rule, the dharmic administration is going to be kept in the Indian Parliament. It's a very special occasion for us even to go back to the whole journey of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and how he is reviving Kailasa, and how even Sengol has been a part of his own journey when he was also offered and handed over the Sengol as a mark of the succession as a spiritual head, the current spiritual head of the Madurai Adinam, which is one of in fact, the most ancient religious ecosystem, spiritual ecosystem on planet Earth, right? So that's exactly the level that we are talking about. The authority, the spiritual authority, which even the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was handed over, was also marked by Sengol, the handing over of the Sengol. And it's so important to highlight this aspect of how important that Sengol is in Hinduism, in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, what it really represents. It's not just monarchy, it's the ultimate authority of Paramashiva landing on planet Earth to rule over the people and guiding them back to him, back to Paramashiva in the perfect harmonious way. Right, Maharaj, if you want to add something about the whole importance of this ceremony in itself, how it forms the basis of the whole concept of kingdoms, how the whole concept of dharmic rule, what is the purpose of the dharmic rule ultimately, and how the symbol, the Sengol, is not just a symbol, it is a very embodiment of that cognition, of that the running of a dharmic society.
Yes, yes, Maharaj, and we have seen in all of our itihasas and Puranas that these particular artifacts or items are used for running kingdoms. If you see the very example in Ramayana, the blessed Paduka of Sri Rama is sent to by Bharata, and it is placed on the throne of the Ayodhya, and it rules, literally, it does the ruling of the whole kingdom until Rama comes and takes and does the Pattabhishek or gets coronated as the king. So these objects are literally energized to do the ruling themselves, and they are not symbols, but really a power, an empowerment to be able to rule, able to conduct the affairs and attend to every single person, dharmic, and the dharmic kind of an environment where everyone treats each other to their highest. You are in Kailasa, beautifully, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has given a guidance when it comes to this way of seeing each other as Paramashiva. seeing each other as the ultimate, treating each other as Paramashiva, and having and being treated like Paramashiva. And that is one of the core principles that help really sustain this dharma that we are seeing the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism say again and again is the very law that is there in Kailasa. To literally know and make sure that we are treating each other as the best, as the highest, as Paramashiva himself. And that is also one of the keys of how dharma is maintained. And whenever this does not get maintained, whenever there is a dip and one part of society takes on the dharmic path, that is when Paramashiva again comes and and manifests himself and revives the whole tradition again. Those and whenever these incarnations come, you will also see that they also take on the original heirlooms. Like when Sri Adi Shankaracharya came, the traditional heirlooms in the mutts that he had to, that he was anointed, that he took on as a responsibility, all the original traditions he brought out and back again. All the original scriptures, all the original vision of the people who made them, of the incarnations of Paramashiva who made these various sampradayas, all of them are just revived, and then also includes reviving all of the sacred sacred items like this ruling staff, like the trishul, like the khadgam, like the different jewels and harams, and even the crown itself. These are all different things that are worshipped literally. And even if you see in the vidhis, in the chapters of the ritual, how the rituals should be done, there is so many details on how each part of the Sengol or each part of the crown should be worshipped, who should be invoked at the base, who should be invoked in the back of the Nandi, who should be invoked in the horn of the Nandi, who should be invoked in the face of the Nandi. All of these details are given inside the agamas, and the Kamika agama gives so much of description on what these mantras mean, why these mantras are important, and how they do the very energizing of themselves. Means Trana means that will which mantra is supposed to instill the power so that somebody will be able to be removed from any of their suffering, any of their delusions. That is what a mantra is. Literally something that is going to invoke powerful cognitions, invoke Paramashiva itself inside an object. So in that way, the mantras are even created and designed for the rituals. It is clearly given by Paramashiva how the mantra should be and how the ritual should be done. Finally, doing the regular worship, it is kept in one of the most precious metals, gold and silver. These metals are in the Hindu mythology are supposed to be able to hold tremendous amounts of cosmic energy and radiate them for thousands and thousands of years. For example, all of the temples of the Brihadishwara temple, including Kashi Vishwanath temples, these temples were fully capped with gold, literally covered from beginning to end with just gold sheets, and everything was offered in gold. And this is this is not a fanaticism with gold or anything. This is a science. It is not anything to do with anything that is greed or greed based. It is a science to know that this metal is so powerful to be able to hold the energy of the cosmos in one place and to be able to radiate it throughout the cosmos. That is the significance of the gold metal or the silver metal, that it has that power inside of it. And these are things that we need to help ourselves with science and really prove that these metals are able to are capable of holding energy. As the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism always tells that in the Hindu temples, even the temple towers and all of these powerful architectures are not just excellence in architecture, but they are literally like power towers that can literally conduct even electricity. We just need to find out the right circuit. And fortunately, we have Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism who's initiating all of us to be able to become sensitive and be able to literally know how to revive all of these sciences again. And it all begins with literally creating Hindu civilization again. Once these practices are done, once you put yourself into the lifestyle and live the life of a person who is going to be practicing Hinduism, then you'll be able to know that these are all objects not as a burden or as a kartavyam or as a duty, but it is an empowerment. Literally empowering you to know that you are Paramashiva himself. You have that, you have him literally as your backing. He's literally guiding you, taking care of everything, and you are literally him.
Yes, in fact, one thing which has to be emphasized again and again, because many people have this wrong notion about the ancient cultures. They have this, this abusive way they speak about, it was all monarchy and it was all power centric. No power centric monarch would go into that much detail where how to invoke each and every aspect of the crown, each and every corner, right? Horn, how it has to be invoked, which mantra to use. It doesn't make sense of a monarch who just wants to control the people to go into each and every detail and go into the whole science of this invocation of these sacred energies, of the powers and the powerful cognitions in each of these elements, in each of these dimensions, which form a just rule, a just kingdom, and establishing of the enlightenment ecosystem. What the Hindu youth and everyone else has to understand is that Hinduism is not just a social system. It's not just, some people came together and came up with something to, live a particular kind of a life. No, it is the higher science of cosmos itself. It has been revealed not by some human being, it has been revealed directly by Paramashiva, the ultimate super consciousness, the source of the entire creation itself. He has ordained, he has given the entire science in the form of Vedas and Agamas. That is the source scriptures of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. The entire tradition of Hinduism, the entire lifestyle, and all the Hindu kingdoms and the way of governing those kingdoms, each and everything is derived from Vedas and Agamas, directly from Paramashiva himself. And when we see all these things happening in day-to-day life, when we practice these things, invoking these mantras, even let's say offering Abhishekam to the crown, offering Abhishekam to Sengol itself, right? All these things are not just some simple symbol of some concepts of this kind of a kingdom, of that or that kind of kingdom. They are literally reviving the whole energy and the whole ecosystem of Sanatana Hindu Dharma on planet Earth. And again, we're emphasizing this fact that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has already been doing all this as a part of his revival of Kailasa nation, and each and every sampradaya, each and every spiritual kingdom, each and every ecosystem of Hinduism with its own unique practices and its own unique traditions, he has been going into the detail and reviving and re-establishing Dharma on planet Earth in the form of these various spiritual ecosystems of Hinduism, again reviving them today on planet Earth. The entire tradition of Sengol is also one of the very powerful ways in which this re-establishment and the revival is being done by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as a part of Kailasa's revival. And one very important thing which has to be kept in mind is that Sengol, the handing over the Sengol, is done by the Guru to the king. It is the Guru who is ultimately the caretaker and the authority in the realm, right? It's just that the king term being used sometimes, especially in the Buddhist sampradaya, when the king acts as a regent of the Dalai Lama, who is the real spiritual head. Right? This is Dalai Lama in Hinduism, who is the real spiritual head, and the king or the emperor in that case, again, same similarity, he's just acting as a representative of the spiritual head and just governing the kingdom, administering the kingdom as per their injunctions, the scriptures. Same way we have seen Madhurayadinam, Shamala Pita, Sarvagna Pita, same tradition. When the Guru Mahasannidhanam, he hands over the Sengol to the next ruler, the successor, right? In this case, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda, Paramashivam. Ultimately, it is again and again reaffirming the truth that the sovereignty lies with Paramashiva, and the king and the ruler acts as a representative of Paramashiva, holding that Sengol as the authority and the power of Paramashiva to rule the entire kingdom as per the injunctions and the science given in the Vedas and Agamas. And also for Kailasa, it just directly manifests in letter and spirit. It's not even partial, it's complete, it's beautiful, and it's complete, right? Because Vedas and Agamas are the constitution, the core of the constitution, the preamble, right? Bhagavad Gita, the Prasthanatrayam, right? As the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has put it, which are the essence of Vedas and Agamas, the Prasthanatraya, the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and Brahma Sutras. The essence of Vedas and Agamas he has made as the essence of the constitution of Kailasa. Because constitution of Kailasa is nothing else but the cosmic constitution, which is Vedas and Agamas. And the essence of Vedas and Agamas is the essence of the constitution of Kailasa, the preamble of Kailasa, which is these three sacred scriptures, which form the entire amalgamation and bedrock of the entire whole Hindu tradition, the Sanatana Hindu Dharma. And this is the ultimate authority in Kailasa. This is the ultimate rule. The sovereignty as ultimately belongs to Paramashiva himself, and currently governed as his direct manifestation, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, acting as his direct representative and embodiment on the planet Earth, holding that Dharma Dandam to revive the Dharma again on planet Earth, reviving the ancient enlightened civilization, Kailasa, on planet Earth. And that is the significance of this whole revival of Dharma happening with the help of the Dharma Dandam that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is holding today as the current spiritual head, as the supreme pontiff of Hinduism and representative of all 2 billion practicing Hindus in the world today. He is the leader and the voice of all the Hindus today in the world. Literally their king, their ruler, who is establishing a new civilization on planet Earth, to take the humanity to the next level, to realign the humanity to their goal, to their purpose in life, which is to manifest Paramashiva, to manifest Paramadvaita, giving the superconscious breakthrough to all the human beings. That is what the science of Vedas and Agamas he is establishing. That is the ultimate authority of which is given in Hinduism, and the purpose of any Hindu kingdom ultimately is to bestow from Paramashiva's sovereignty, leading to the conscious sovereignty of each and every individual, done with the help of gurus and the kings, the enlightened kings themselves, and through these beautiful rituals, celebrations, remembrances, and these symbols, whatever you want to call it. Ultimately, it all boils down to the science given in Vedas and Agamas of aligning and taking human beings back, and all the beings back to their original source.
Yes, Maharaj. And we just want to take a minute here and just thank all of the people who have been part of our discussion here on our show. Milind Padeke, he is wishing us Nithyanandam, and Jagdeep Gill is also commenting, telling us, and Yashodan Kulkarni, along with Karuna Kargunda. They're all welcome all of you, and welcome to the discussion. And any comments or any questions and anything that you want to add to this conversation, Joe, you are all welcome to comment and share with us anything that you find fascinating about the topics that we have been discussing, specifically about the Sengol and talking about the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's revival of Hinduism, and also about anything maybe about the Mahabhishekam of Nakshatra that is also going on as we wait for the Los Angeles Kailasa to get ready as Mahadeva, as Nithyanandeshwara there is having his alankaram. We are waiting eagerly to have his darshan and to offer our puja to him.
Yes. And as we lead to the very exciting puja, the celebration that is going to be offered just in a few minutes as we get ready with our team in Kailasa in Los Angeles, beautiful alankaram they are doing, and immediately followed by Deeparadhana, which will be offered. Till then, we can continue this exciting discussion. And as you rightly put, Maharaj, we invite more and more people to join. We invite more and more people to be a part of these discussions, and especially offered, gifted, in fact, free of cost right now by the Supreme Pontiff of Hindu for the entire humanity. It is a very beautiful chance for all the viewers, all the participants, everyone who is watching this show to immediately sign up for Paramashivoham and attend the darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. You can directly have the darshan, be a part of this program absolutely free of cost, and literally you can talk to him. You can even, you can even communicate with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, ask anything you want to manifest, any wish you have. Literally, it is a golden opportunity and an opening suddenly, which Paramashiva has opened for you, a gift for you to be directly in his presence. So don't miss this opportunity. It is an opportunity of a lifetime. So scan the QR code which is being projected on the bottom of the screen, there's also a link. You can either go to the link or you can directly scan the QR code, register for Paramashivoham, and be a part of this program from today itself. Just in a few hours, a couple of hours, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is going to give his darshan, divine darshan, and it's an opportunity for you to immediately register and join the program right now so that you don't miss this opportunity. Yes, and yes, exactly, because more and more people, this is a very special opportunity the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened, right? It's a gift till Guru Purnima that he has opened and making Paramashivoham free of cost for everyone, for all the beings. So please, please, please don't miss this opportunity and share this message with all your friends, your colleagues, anyone you care about. In fact, everyone that you can, just message them on Facebook, all the friends that you have on all social media platforms, and give them this news that Paramashivam is being offered free of cost. It's an opportunity for everyone to manifest this super conscious breakthrough and get benefit from the gifts that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is bringing, and literally have him directly in being in his direct presence. What else can a human being or any being wish for? And today and for the upcoming days, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is making this possible for every being free of cost. A gift for the entire humanity. Paramashiva himself is opening his doors to everyone, to every human being, without any inhibitions, without any barriers, without any hurdles. Anyone can be a part, anyone can be sitting at the divine lotus feet of Paramashiva himself in the form of his living manifestation, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. So right now, sign up for Paramashivoham, scan the QR code, and be a part of today's darshan immediately.
Yes, man. Yes, absolutely. It is very beautiful opportunity for everyone who wants to have a glimpse of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Take this opportunity. It's a very auspicious day also to start your journey with the Guru, start your relationship with the Guru. And it is also the best time as the Agni Nakshatram is coming to a close. This is a very auspicious time. Don't miss the opportunity, and don't even go to bed tonight without having his darshan. That is exactly the way. You should have his darshan and then only take rest today evening and really have rejuvenate your life, just like how we're celebrating a beautiful new moment, a momentous event also happening with the Sengol. And all these kind of auspicious moments it's a beautiful opportunity today to meet the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, meet him, see his darshan, get to hear his words and rejuvenate yourself with the new relationship with the living avatar of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
Yes, exactly. Such a beautiful opportunity. Swamiji is open for everyone, each and every being, and it is literally, see, because enlightenment ultimately it is every person's birthright. And when it's literally available for everyone, we have to take it, we have to benefit from it. So that's why we are saying, share this news with everyone you can, in your circle, in your immediate circle, in your outer circles, whatever, friends, colleagues, acquaintances, anyone who you can share this news with, and let them all also bring them on board and have be benefit from this auspicious opportunity of being in the presence of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashiva. Paramashiva incarnate himself on the planet Earth, and this can literally change your life forever. That is his guarantee, right? So don't miss this opportunity and be a part. Today, his darshan is going to be just in a couple of hours. So register now and join the program. The program is already running. So join the program right now and just give yourself a new life altogether, right? So as we get ready for Kailasa in Los Angeles to prepare, as they're preparing for the Deeparadhana to Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva, after a grand Abhishekam, which was being offered, as we get ready to bring you live Lagu Puja and Deeparadhana from Kailasa in Los Angeles. Let's also kind of wrap up the whole discussion today of Sengol, the Hindu kingdom, the dharmic way of ruling any kingdom, any ecosystem, any civilization, and how Hinduism is literally direct words and direct expression of Paramashiva himself, his ordainment, and how every being is supposed to live, how every king is supposed to govern, how every guru is supposed to enrich and empower the ecosystem which he is or she is a part everything is being literally Sengol Maharaj. Entire discussion, any dimension which we address it, Sengol is literally at the core of it, because it's literally acting as a representative of Paramashiva himself, right? His power, his authority, his energy invoked in the Sengol, in the Dharma Dandam. From that, the authority, the rule, in fact, Ramarajya, right? Sengol is the symbol of Ramarajya. Sengol is the symbol of Hindu Rashtra. So many things we can talk about.
Yes.
Just revolving around this concept and the symbol of Sengol, right?
Yes, Maharaj. And your point about how the gurus are that really the spindle of the whole ecosystem of Hinduism is very important, because if we see the Hinduism that we have today, the Hinduism that we see and cherish today, whether it may be the temples or the rituals or the arts that we are celebrating in Hinduism, all of it has a story of a particular sadhu or a particular guru who kept it alive, who gave their life for making sure it's alive. Whether it is the temple of Kashi Vishwanath, the deity of Kashi Vishwanath, whether it is the temple architecture and the buildings of southern India, there are many gurus who kept it, made sure that the gurus of the Shankaracharyas did so much to make sure that they are understanding they must protect Hinduism.
And also empowering them
Yes.
with all this knowledge and this energy, the science, right? Each and everything they took care of personally.
Yes, it was a guru, as the definition is today, a person who is a guy who is a person who's a seer, literally, to be able to tell the right path in life, make the right decisions in life. This is what the guru's role, and it is because of these gurus' role and the tradition that they are keeping alive. That is why we still even have Hinduism today, and we are able to celebrate it this much and rejoice it even this much. It is because of this tremendous tyaga and sacrifice of the sannyasis, sadhus, gurus, Rajagurus of Hindu Dharma. That is the reason why we really even have it here in our lives today, and we must be very grateful to them. Of course, we can give that gratitude to them. Of course, when it comes to the next full moon, also there is the Guru Purnima moon, and it is a festival that is coming to celebrate the Gurus.
Exactly, because so many aspects, even when you're talking about the gurus and the guru's aspect, and how literally it is the guru ultimately who is authorizing the king to rule on his behalf himself, right? Even when we have seen throughout the history of Hindu kingdoms, Hindu civilization, that how, let's say, for an interim period, a king is either he passes away in a war, or he just passes away because of some sickness, anything that happens, a vacuum is created. The guru of that kingdom, the Rajguru, the Rajagurus, they intervene and they start ruling for that time until they select another able person to rule the kingdom, right? And then they pass on the same authority, same crowning ceremony happens.
That is true, and even in the history of the Guru Mahasannidhanams of the Madurai Adinam, many times when there was no particular king ruling, the Guru acted as king regent and and ran the kingdom while the king was getting ready or trained. So the gurus did play a role. I just wanted to give the example from Madurai Adinam also. That is also
exactly. Yes, Madurai Adinam is as supreme point of Hinduism as himself put it. It is the most ancient religious order in the world.
Yes.
It is
Kailasam,
directly established by Paramashiva himself. Devi Meenakshi, Sundareshwara, Paramashivam themselves playing the Leela and establishing, ruling the whole world from the spiritual kingdom, from the capital of Madurai. It is not a small thing, it's not a small tradition. It is the very source of entire, we can say, all the religions today, all the spiritual paths, sampradayas, even the indigenous, tribal religions, anything that we can talk about. Whole consciousness, the source of consciousness, science is present on planet Earth today. It boils down to Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and that too to its most ancient spiritual ecosystem, one of which I think the most ancient is the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pita, the Madurai Samarajyam, which is how the whole establishment of Hinduism actually started on planet Earth. The Supreme Part of Hinduism has spoken so much about Kumari Kandam and the whole kingdom and the civilization, how it evolved, which people don't know, right? We can take another episode to even discuss and talk about that aspect. But today what we're talking about is the Sengol and how it symbolizes, powers the whole revival of Hinduism, and how supreme point of Hinduism is the core, the main player in this whole revival of Hinduism. Today, himself taking the responsibility for all the 2 billion Hindus, practicing Hindus in the world today, as their leader, as their ruler, as their guru, and as incarnation of Paramashiva himself, taking all these roles and re-establishing Hindu civilization on planet Earth today.
Yes,
right?
Maharaj. And when it comes to having our Hindu scriptures legitimized, it is beautiful to see that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and when he comes out and shows exactly how it should be done, and showing that this is a living tradition, it is not something that is a relic that should be kept in a museum. Sanatana Hindu Dharma is a living tradition, something that you can practice, that is user friendly, that is literally as wearable as the Rudraksha mala on your neck. That is how it is. It is something that you practice. These artifact gold that you have, you should wear it, you should have it on you, you should because it is capable of holding so much of energy. It means so much. Many times, even when we have the Supreme Bond of Hinduism teaches us that we may not know how the significance, or may not immediately understand why these particular practices of wearing this or arranging yourself like this may not be understood, but it does have, but the very trust that this is something meaningful, this is something that has a spiritual benefit. Maybe I might not understand it right now, but the simple obedience to understand that it comes from my guru. It comes from a tradition that has been kept alive forever, and that is absolutely life positive, that is for my life, that is going to keep me and help me thrive and help me live a fulfilled life. This simple trust in the gurus, in Hinduism, is what is coming back slowly, and we're seeing it with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, how he even relates with his gurus, how he even connects and makes sure that everything that they taught him, everything that they infused imbibed into him, that he cherishes them, remembers them, and continuously comes out and gives those back to the world, telling us again and again the secrets of how molded him into the enlightened consciousness that he is today. That how that small boy was, who was born a conscious birth, who was literally the manifestation of Paramashiva, how his body was literally infused with enlightened consciousness, and literally how he himself went on with that. That is literally the avatar Leela that we are seeing, that we are celebrating continuously, seeing the Supreme Order of Hinduism as an example.
What's most beautiful in this whole revival is that he expresses the whole, the whole vibrance of Paramashiva, his whole, whatever the mission and everything, in a so beautiful, unique way and powerful way, and at the same time being integrated to the ancient tradition, the whole, the passing down of the the tradition and the whole spiritual initiations that have been passed on from generation to generation, from time immemorial. He stands by all those traditions. That is the most beautiful thing, to maintain your unique contribution today, and at the same time re-establishing and reaffirming the roots from which you have come, right? Both at the same time. It's very easy for all of us to kind of just brush everything, to brush the whole history aside, and just to say no to everything that has already been there, just to prove that you are somehow unique, you are somehow new. But what is great, what is really the most beautiful thing, is how someone can continue to have their unique contribution, contribute in their unique way, and at the same time reaffirm and reestablish and be integrated to the authentic traditions from which you have come, from which your whole knowledge and whatever you've learned, from that being integrated to that. That's what the Supreme Point of Hinduism really symbolizes here, right? Being integrated to the roots, from the entire Guru Parampara, to the roots of the whole Hindu ecosystem, Hindu civilization, and at the same time doing this whole job in his own unabashed, unapologetic, beautiful, powerful, unique way. That's what makes him the best, we can say, role model for today's civilization, which is actually what incarnations have always been doing. They are the perfect role models for the time of for the humans of their time, for all the beings of their time. That's exactly what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also doing. And whatever we can talk about, everything boils down to this beautiful revival of Kailasa that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is doing, and how each and every aspect of the discussion that we are having literally revolves around this whole how Paramashiva is landed on planet Earth today in the form of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And reviving the Hindu civilization on planet Earth, reviving Ramrajya on planet Earth, reviving the Hindu Rashtra. Kailasa is the first and in fact the only Hindu Rashtra, right? And Sengol is at the core of it, with letter and spirit, with energy, with power, with authority directly coming from Paramashiva himself, is represented by Kailasa, by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. And that's why we're again and again urging all the viewers, all the participants who are a part of this discussion, who are viewing us right now, to take the jump, just be in the presence of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and once, and your life will change forever. He is gifting for the entire world his presence, for the upcoming days. This is literally a window that Paramashiva has opened for the entire humanity. So why miss it? There is no justification for missing this opportunity when it's already available freely for everyone. So just scan the QR code and be at the divine lotus feet of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the Paramavatara of Paramashiva, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashiva. Have his darshan directly, get the opportunity to even communicate with him. And whatever you want to ask, whatever you have wish, whatever wishes you have, whatever you want to manifest in your own life, anything that you want to ask him, simply just be in his presence and he will grant it to you. And we are also preparing for Kailasa in Los Angeles. We are getting ready to bring you live celebration from Kailasa in Los Angeles of the beautiful Deeparadhana, which will be offered after the Maha Abhishekam. Right now, the Alankara Seva is being offered to Paramashiva. Immediately after the Abhishekam, we do the Alankara Seva, the dressing up in the traditional way for all the deities, especially in this case Paramashiva himself, Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva himself, after he was being offered the Maha Abhishekam with the energized water from the Homa, the Kalashatirtha from the Homa. So immediately after the Alankara Seva, we will be witnessing the Deeparadhana, the final offering of the puja to Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva.
Yes. And then we're going to be witnessing a beautiful grand Alankaram as well, being able to see the darshan and the beautiful flower gardens that are going to be anointed onto Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva. The Kailasa in Los Angeles is blessed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to be radiating the very ecosystem of Tirunamala, to be able to radiate the very ecosystem of Arunachala. And literally that is what is the energy infused inside the temple, that you can see the very environment and the ecosystem in Los Angeles temple is so much like the ecosystem and the environment that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was born and brought up in. You can see that is such a beautiful thing to be able to treasure, and anybody who wants to can go, be there, learn, and see, literally have the experience of the deities in their lives. The deities are Archavataras. They are literally the very embodiment of Paramashiva, who manifests in a physical form for us. And all of the deities in Los Angeles temple are so powerful, and each person there visiting, when you go, will be able to tell you a story, tell you a real experience, a real miracle that would have happened in their life about one deity, how the deity managed to solve their problem in their life or give them a breakthrough in their life. Whatever it may be, the deities in Los Angeles are very alive. And now we're going to finish and get ready to see the darshan of Nithyanandeshwara, who has had the last 28 days the Shitagumba placed above his head, cooling him in the summer heat. And this is the final day. And finishing the Shitagumba Puja, finishing the Agni Nakshatram, we offered the Mahabhishekam just now with 108 pots of water, kalashas. And now we're going to offer the Deeparadhana to welcome the darshan of Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva, and to also we're going to offer a small archana, offering the Namavali archana to Paramashiva, as well as a few upacharams, a few mantras from various agamas and various vedams. So these will all be offered at the feet of Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva. They are here in Kailasa, Los Angeles. So let's get ready, and we will be seeing them, seeing darshan of Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva. All the devotees have gathered in Los Angeles on this day to offer their gratitude. As the Paramashiva of their very city, of the Paramashiva of their very town, they all have a special connection to him. He is literally their God and guardian. He is the one who will take care of everything in their life. And it's very beautiful and unique to have a temple in your locality. If you are minding, if you're looking to travel and or move your life or move your where you want to live, the places where Kailasa is, where the Kailasa temples are, were the choicest places to live and to make a living for yourself.
They are the only places to live, Maharaj. Nowhere else.
Yes,
can a
yes,
person
yes,
live.
absolutely. In the whole revival, all Hindus must consider moving and living near these temples. near all
Anyway,
the temples.
anyway, we are talking, right? Most of the humans are trying to move away from the grid. Some of them have already moved out, 20%. Others are literally craving to move out, trying to find some way or the other. Best way is, at least for now, is to move and start living around any of the Kailasa ecosystem, the Kailasa spiritual embassies, temples, wherever, whichever is nearest to you, just find it out. Search, just Google Kailasa, and all the information will be available to you in the kailasa.org website. And just search, just seek anyone. Even you can contact us through the kailasa.org. You can chat with us through WhatsApp and directly anyway. Just find out which is the nearest Kailasa to you. Start living there. That's where the whole transformation will start happening, right, Maharaj?
Yes. And yes, it's absolutely the possibility that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is giving all of the world just through the revival of the temple ecosystems. So many of the temple ecosystems have been revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, invoking powerful deities, powerful energies into them that are literally living, thriving, and doing the job of bringing the devotion out of the people and literally moving them towards more and more towards their fulfillment in their life, life positivity in their life. All of these are the blessings of deities. Once you have deities in your life, once you have worship and ritual and this whole festival environment in your life, you'll see it is a beautiful opportunity. So now we're going to get ready for the transition to see the darshan of Nithyanandeshwara Paramashivam.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
ॐ साङ्ग्रहण्येष्ट्या यजते इमां जनतागुं सङ्गृह्णानीति द्वादशारत्नीयशना भवति द्वादशमासा संवत्सरः संवत्सरमेवावरुन्धे मौञ्जी भवति ऊर्ध्वै मुञ्जाः ऊर्जमेवावरुन्धे चित्रा नक्षत्रं भवति चित्रं वा एतत् कर्म श्री नित्यानंदे श्री परमशिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमो नमः। सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। अलंकार दीपं संदर्शयामि। ॐ सोमो वा एतस्य राज्यमादत्ते यो राजासन् राज्यो वा सोमेन यजते देवसुवा मेधान्ति हव्यगुंसि भवन्ति य एतावन्तो वै देवानागुं सवाः त एवास्मै सवान् प्रयच्छन्ति त एन पुनः सुवन्ते राज्याय देवसुराजा भवति। श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। कर्पूर नीराजनं संदर्शयामि। ॐ तन्महेशाय विद्महे वाग्विशुद्धाय धीमहि तन्नः शिवः प्रचोदयात्। व्योमव्योमाय विद्महे सूक्ष्मसूक्ष्माय धीमहि तन्नः सूक्ष्मप्रचोदयात् तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्रः प्रचोदयात्। श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमो नमः। सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। कर्पूर नीराजन दर्शयामि रक्षान् धारयामि। ओम योपां पुष्पं वेद पुष्पवान् प्रजावान् पशुमान् भवति चन्द्रमा वा अपां पुष्पं पुष्पवान् प्रजावान् पशुमान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति अग्निर्वा अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति योऽग्निरायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति आपो वा अग्निरायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति वायुर्वा अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति यो वायोरायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति आपो वै वायोरायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति असौ वै तपन्नपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति यो मुष्यतपत आयतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति आपोपा अमुष्यतपत आयतनम् आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति चन्द्रमा वा अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति यश्चन्द्रमस आयतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति आपो वै चन्द्रमस आयतनम् आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति नक्षत्राणि वा अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति यो नक्षत्राणामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति आपो वै नक्षत्राणामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति यः पर्जन्यो वा अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति यः पर्जन्यस्यायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति आपो वै पर्जन्यस्यायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति संवत्सरो वा अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति यः संवत्सरस्यायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति आपो वै संवत्सरस्यायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति य एवं वेद योऽप्सुनाभं प्रतिष्ठितां वेद प्रत्येव तिष्ठति। नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमो नमः। सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। वेदोक्त मंत्र पुष्पांजलिं समर्पयामि। शिवाय रुद्राय शिवार्चिताय महानुभावाय महेश्वराय सोमाय सूक्ष्माय सुरेश्वराय शोणाद्रिनाथाय नमः शिवाय। ओम शिवाय नमः। ॐ महेश्वराय नमः। ॐ शम्भवे नमः। ॐ पिनाकिने नमः। ॐ शशिशेखराय नमः। ॐ वामदेवाय नमः। ॐ विरूपाक्षाय नमः। नमः। ॐ शङ्कराय नमः। ॐ शूलपाणये नमः। ॐ खट्वाङ्गिने नमः। ॐ विष्णुवल्लभाय नमः। ॐ शिपिविष्टाय नमः। ॐ अम्बिकानाथाय नमः। ॐ श्रीकण्ठाय नमः। ॐ भक्तवत्सलाय नमः। ॐ भवाय नमः। ॐ शर्वाय नमः। ॐ त्रिलोकेशाय नमः। ॐ शितिकण्ठाय नमः। ॐ शिवाप्रियाय नमः। ॐ उग्राय नमः। ॐ कपालिने नमः। ॐ कामारये नमः। ॐ अन्धकासुरसूदनाय नमः। ॐ गङ्गाधराय नमः। ॐ ललाटाक्षाय नमः। ॐ कालकालाय नमः। ॐ कृपानिधये नमः। ॐ भीमाय नमः। ॐ परशुहस्ताय नमः। ॐ मृगपाणये नमः। ॐ जटाधराय नमः। ॐ कैलासवासिने नमः। ॐ कवचिने नमः। ॐ कठोराय नमः। ॐ त्रिपुरान्तकाय नमः। ॐ वृषाङ्काय नमः। ॐ वृषभारूढाय नमः। ॐ भस्मोद्धूलितविग्रहाय नमः। ॐ सामप्रियाय नमः। ॐ स्वरमयाय नमः। ॐ त्रयीमूर्तये नमः। ॐ अनीश्वराय नमः। ॐ सर्वज्ञाय नमः। ॐ परमात्मने नमः। ॐ सोमसूर्याग्निलोचनाय नमः। ॐ हविषे नमः। ॐ यज्ञमयाय नमः। ॐ सोमाय नमः। ॐ पञ्चवक्त्राय नमः। ॐ सदाशिवाय नमः। ॐ विश्वेश्वराय नमः। ॐ वीरभद्राय नमः। ॐ गणनाथाय नमः। ॐ प्रजापतये नमः। ॐ हिरण्यरेतसे नमः। ॐ दुर्धर्षाय नमः। ॐ गिरीशाय नमः। ॐ गिरिशाय नमः। ॐ अनघाय नमः। ॐ भुजङ्गभूषणाय नमः। ॐ भर्गाय नमः। ॐ गिरिधन्वने नमः। ॐ गिरिप्रियाय नमः। ॐ कृत्तिवाससे नमः। ॐ पुरारातये नमः। ॐ भगवते नमः। ॐ प्रमथाधिपाय नमः। ॐ मृत्युञ्जयाय नमः। ॐ सूक्ष्मतनवे नमः। ॐ जगद्व्यापिने नमः। ॐ जगद्गुरवे नमः। ॐ व्योमकेशाय नमः। ॐ महासेनजनकाय नमः। ॐ चारुविक्रमाय नमः। ॐ रुद्राय नमः। ॐ भूतपतये नमः। ॐ स्थानवे नमः। ॐ अहिर्बुद्ध्याय ॐ स्वात्विकाय नमः। ॐ शुद्धविग्रहाय नमः। ॐ शाश्वताय नमः। ॐ खण्डपरशवे नमः। ॐ अजाय नमः। ॐ पाशविमोचकाय नमः। ॐ मृडाय नमः। ॐ पशुपतये नमः। ॐ देवाय नमः। ॐ महादेवाय नमः। ॐ अव्ययाय नमः। ॐ हरये नमः। ॐ पूषदन्तभिदे नमः। ॐ अव्यग्राय नमः। ॐ दक्षाध्वरहराय नमः। ॐ हराय नमः। ॐ भगनेत्रभिदे नमः। ॐ अव्यक्ताय नमः। ॐ सहस्राक्षाय नमः। ॐ सहस्रपादे नमः। ॐ अपवर्गप्रदाय नमः। ॐ अनन्ताय नमः। ॐ तारकाय नमः। ॐ परमेश्वराय नमः। श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमो नमः। ॐ तन्महेशाय विद्महे वाग्विशुद्धाय धीमहि तन्नः शिवः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ सर्वस्याप्त्यै सर्वस्य जित्यै सर्वमेव तेनाप्नोति सर्वं जयति। नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमो नमः। कर्पूर नीराजनं सन्दर्शयामि। रक्षान्धारयामि। देवदेवोत्तम देवता सार्वभौम अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायक श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। चतुर्वेद प्रिय चतुर्वेदमवधारय। हरिः ओम। अग्निमीळे पुरोहितं यज्ञस्य देवं ऋत्विजं होतारं रत्नधातामं। हरिः ओम हरिः ओम। इषेत्वोर्जेत्वा वाजवस्तोपाजवस्तदेवो वस्तविता प्रार्पयतु श्रेष्ठतमाय कर्मणे। हरिः ओम हरिः ओम। अग्न आयाहि वीतये गृणानो हव्यदातये निहोता सच्च बर्हिषि। हरिः ओम हरिः ओम। तन्नो देवीरभीष्टयापो भवन्तु पीतये संयोरभिस्रवन्तु नः। हरिः ओम। देवदेवोत्तम देवता सार्वभौम अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायक श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति समेत नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। आगम श्लोक प्रिय आगम श्लोकानवधारय। कैलास दक्षिणे शृंगे नानाश्चर्य समन्विते प्रवृद्धवटवृक्षोत्थ छायाच्छन्नेति विस्तृते व्याघ्रचर्म परिधाने पीठे रत्नोपशोभिते देवदानवगन्धर्व विद्याधरादिभिः सेव्यमानं महादेवं श्रीकण्ठं विश्वनायकम्। देवदेवोत्तम देवता सार्वभौम अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायक श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमो नमः। स्तोत्र प्रिय स्तोत्रमवधारय। श्रीकान्तद्रुहिणोपमन्युतपना कंदेन्द्र नद्यादयः प्राचीना गुरवोऽपि यस्य करुणा लेशाद्गता गौरवम् तं सर्वादिगुरुं मनोज्ञवपुषं मन्दस्मितालङ्कृतं चिन्मुद्राङ्कितपाणिनलिनं चित्ते शिवं कुर्महे। शिवाय रुद्राय शिवार्चिताय महानुभावाय महेश्वराय सोमाय सूक्ष्माय सुरेश्वराय कोणाद्रिनाथाय नमः शिवाय दिक्पालनाथाय विभावनाय चन्द्रार्धचूडाय सनातनाय संसारदुःखार्नवतारणाय शोणाद्रिनाथाय नमः शिवाय जगन्निवासाय जगद्धिताय सेनानिनाथाय जयप्रदाय पूर्णाय पुण्याय पुरातनाय शोणाद्रिनाथाय नमः शिवाय वागीशवन्द्याय वरप्रदाय कुमार्धदेहाय गणेश्वराय चन्द्रार्कवैश्वानरलोचनाय शोणाद्रिनाथाय नमः शिवाय रथाधिरूढाय रसाधराय वेदाश्वयुक्ताय विधिस्तुताय चन्द्रार्कचक्राय शशिप्रभाय शोणाद्रिनाथाय नमः शिवाय विरिञ्चिसारथ्यविराजिताय गिरीन्द्रचापाय गिरीश्वराय फालाग्निनेत्राय फणीश्वराय शोणाद्रिनाथाय नमः शिवाय गोविन्दबाणाय गुणत्रयाय विश्वस्य नाथाय वृषध्वजाय पुरस्य विध्वंसन दीक्षिताय शोणाद्रिनाथाय नमः शिवाय जरादिवर्ज्याय जटाधराय अचिन्त्यरूपाय हरिप्रियाय भक्तस्य पापौघविनाशनाय शोणाद्रिनाथाय नमः शिवाय। देवदेवोत्तम देवता सार्वभौम अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायक श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। द्राविड वेद प्रिय द्राविड वेदमवधारय। त्रिचित्रम्बलम् தோடுடைய செவியன் விடையேறிவோர் தூவன் மதிசூடி காடுடைய சுடலை பொடி பூசியன் உள்ளங்கவர் கல்வன் ஏடுடைய மலரான் முனை நாட்பணிந்தேத்த அருள் செய்த பேடுடைய இரமாபுரம் மேவிய பெம்மானிவனன்றே. சிவா திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். देवदेवोत्तमं देवता सार्वभौमम् अखिलाण्डकोटिब्रह्माण्डनायकं श्रीनित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिवशक्तिसमेतं श्रीनित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवम् अष्टपुष्पैरभ्यर्च्य Buddha 1 plus 80. Mana? Apa? ஆர்த்தி பண்ணுமான்னு கேக்குறாங்க. எஸ்ன்னு சொல்லியிருக்கேன். ஓம் तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकं नेमा विद्युतो भाति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति तन्महेशाय विद्महे वाग्विशुद्धाय धीमहि तन्नः शिवः प्रचोदयात्। हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंस प्रचोदयात्। श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमो नमः। कर्पूर नीराजनं संदर्शयामि रक्षान् धारयामि। कोणाद्रीशावताराय ज्योतिस्तंभस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। तत्त्वज्ञानप्रदाताय नित्यानन्देश्वररूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। मूलप्रकृतिरूपाय परमशिवस्वरूपिणे शक्तिस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। दण्डत्रिशूलहस्ताय कालकालस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। आदिपूज्याय देवाय सकृत्पूर्णत्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। सर्वाभयविनाशकाय शत्रुसंहाररूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। योगभट्टाभिषिक्ताय राजसन्न्यासधारिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। सार्वभौमैकपत्याय राजराजार्चिताय च श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। मङ्गलं कल्पवृक्षाय मङ्गलं ज्ञानदायिने परमशिवाय श्रीनित्यानन्देश्वराय मङ्गलम्। मङ्गलं श्रीविद्याम्बायै मङ्गलं कामदायिन्यै सर्वमङ्गलदात्री नित्यानन्देश्वर्यै मङ्गलम्। मङ्गलं गुरुदेवाय मोक्षमूलाय मङ्गलम्। परमावताराय नित्यानन्दाय गुरवे मङ्गलम्। त्वं स्मृतमहं धन्य मम प्राणमहेश्वर गङ्गाधरनामेति स्तोत्रस्थानं ददाम्यहम्। हरिः ॐ तत्सत्। सर्वं भगवत् श्री नित्यानन्द परमशिव पादुकार्पणमस्तु। ॐ नित्यानन्दम्।
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om